This week I sit down with Venezuelan immigrant Adolfo Villalobos, and we discuss what's going on in Venezuela, what it's like to leave family and friends behind to seek a better life for yourself and for your kids, and the importance of always remaining hopeful despite what struggles come your way. We talk about all of this and more in this episode of What Matters. But first, I'd like to thank Lemke Law Group in Warner Robins, Georgia for letting us use their office as a makeshift studio. That was very useful, so thank you guys very much for letting us do that. Be sure to like and follow What Matters on Facebook and subscribe on YouTube and your favorite podcasting platforms like iTunes and Google Play. I'm Stephen Brantley, and this is What Matters. All right, I'm here today with Adolfo. Welcome to the podcast, Adolfo.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Really excited to have you on. We're going to talk a little bit today about the Venezuelan crisis and what it's like being an immigrant to the U.S. overall. And I think this is a very important thing that we should be talking about. And really happy to have you on. Okay, so tell me a little bit about your background. Where did you grow up?
So I'm originally from Venezuela. I'm from Maracaibo. Mm-hmm. That's the city where I was born. It's the hottest town in the world. It's really hot. If you think that Georgia is hot, you have to go to Maracaibo. It's really, really hot all year round. Yeah. It's
called the land of the sun or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, we are like in the border between, close to Colombia. Mm-hmm. So we have... It's a lake, but it's what you call that when the ocean
right.
is bridged. It's brick.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, so we have the ocean. We are right at the coast, but we also have a huge lake in my town, which is like one of the more iconic things in my town.
Okay. And so, what was it like growing up in Maracaibo? How long did you live there?
33 years.
33 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right before I moved here. I moved straight from Maracaibo to here to Georgia.
Yeah.
It's really awesome. That town where I grew up in is it's colorful. We have it's like our music is really our music. Like we are at the west of Venezuela, the west side of Venezuela, and actually the way we speak is different than the rest of the country. We have like a different accent. It's like the southern accent mm-hmm. in the States.
Right.
It's something like that. So it's really funny, the people there. I'm not like the normal people over there because I'm really serious. I don't laugh a lot, which I've been trying to do, a little bit more recently. But it's really funny. I mean, people there is always joking around, mm-hmm. and like even like the way they paint their cars or the houses or everything is around a joke. It's people just making fun about everything, It was really cool. I really had a really happy environment that I grew up.
And the type of music they're actually known for, it's a type of folk music. What's it called? Do you know the name of it? I forgot, but it's Maracaibo's very unique for having.
Yeah, we got the gaita.
Yeah, gaita. That's right.
Yeah, the main instruments in that kind of music is what we call the cuatro. It's like a small guitar, and then we have drums. This is one of the most important instruments in that music. It's really awesome. I mean, you gotta listen to it.
Yeah.
You gotta stuck into it.
Where did and also point out this is the second largest city in Venezuela, I believe, Maracaibo. So how long? So you lived there for 33 years. You went to school there throughout middle school, high school.
Yeah, I did my everything up to college. I went to college there. Mm-hmm. I have a degree in communication. It's like it's like a mix between communication and journalism. So it's a 5 years career that I had.
Yeah.
Then after I finished college, I worked pretty much all the time for a pharmaceutical company. You know Allegra, the anti-allergic. Yeah, the company that represents Allegra in Venezuela, which is Sanofi. Yeah, it's a French transnational company.
And what years did you work there?
It was from 2006 up until 2013 when I moved here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you moved here in 2013, and that's around when things started going bad in Venezuela.
Yeah.
So you obviously you kind of saw that coming, I think. But at first, will you kind of give us a background on what's going on in Venezuela and what led up to the current crisis that's going on there?
Well, what we really have is a really bad government. You know, the politics in Venezuela, they just take care of themselves. They don't really take care of the population. So all the resources that we have, you know, that we are one of the most important oil producers in the world, and they don't take advantage of it, but for themselves. I mean, it's like you know, all the resources, all the income, all the profit that we have every single day, they just don't use it. That's the main problem over there. Then, you know, it's just the institutions, like from the most basic institution in Venezuela, is everything about socialism, but at the same time it's not, because when you see socialism like it is, you know, it's pro-population, is helping the you know, people to grow up at the same time with the country. But it's not. I mean, it's really sad when you go to the store and you cannot find anything. People is being lagged about, you know, for everything. You name it. You are gonna try to get a chicken at the store and you can't. You wanna go get paper towel and you won't find it. It's just because the business that can produce that kind of product, they've been closed by the government.
And did it start going down this path prior to Hugo Chavez's time in office? He came into power in 1999, if I remember correctly. And did it start going downhill after he came into power? Or?
Yeah. And
it
was like it wasn't that bad. It was bad when he was on power, but everything is being like even worse after he died. And the new president Maduro, which is I guess I shouldn't say this, but he's really dumb, because Chavez, he knew what he was doing. He was really smart in a bad way, but he was smart. Now Nicolas Maduro, he is bad, but at the same time he doesn't know what he's doing. He just speaks and don't make any sense.
Right. He doesn't have the power to inspire like Chavez did.
Not at all. Not at all.
And but yeah, and so from my research, I saw that Venezuela has the largest known oil reserves in the world. But this has kind of caused them to be heavily reliant upon oil and everything. And that's the only thing they rely on. And I guess that's kind of the first problem. They back in the 20s when they started drilling, they did really well, and they grew ever since. And then in the 50s, the Middle Eastern countries started drilling oil, and that boost in supply drove down the price, and then Venezuela struggled. Fast forward to 1999, I think that the world economy was starting to recover a little bit from kind of going down. I'm struggling, and then was it China and India started really developing in that time, and so that just happened to coincide when Chavez came into office. So I guess there were a few years there when things were looking good in Venezuela after 99.
Maybe they got really lucky when, as you just said, the economy was recovering because the price of the oil went up. So it was already good, but after that they had a budget. I don't remember the exact price, but they had, let's say, $100 for a barrel. But then the price went up like up to $300, so they were over the budget, so they had too much money, which they didn't use.
What do they do with the money, all of that extra money that he's bringing in? Where did it go?
Well, it's not something that I can prove, but what the investigation says is that all of them have any amount of properties all over the world, millionaire accounts here in the States, that some of them have been closed. And everywhere you go, you will see, the kind of cars that they drive, or the kind of life that they have, even in Venezuela. Because, that's another thing which is not really relevant, but you would think, if you picture a country in crisis like it is, you would think, oh, they don't have anything. But the problem is that if you go to Venezuela, you will see, the most newest cars in the world, you will have it there. But it's because they have them. I mean, they have the money to buy them.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's amazing. The houses where they live in, they are awesome. And they are mansions. Now, if you go to what they call down there, what we call down there the comunas, is the houses are coming apart. People barely live in those houses, but at the same time they have that really rich life.
Right. So it's really interesting. You're seeing a massive amount of income inequality there, and that's really interesting because socialism, which officially Venezuela is a socialist country, but socialism's whole idea is to combat that income inequality and to make everything egalitarian. But you see some of the most income inequality in the world, perhaps. So that's really interesting that it turned out that way. And your take on it is that it wasn't really socialism; it was just incorporated poorly, or it became corrupt.
Yeah, it's really corrupted. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, everywhere you go, any institution, they don't have a specific way to work, or the way they work, the only way they know how to work is by being corrupted.
Right. So when did you start to notice everything going on here? When you start to think about leaving the country?
So it wasn't up to 2010, 2011 when I started noticing that my salary wasn't enough to live, or like the kind of living that I had, it wasn't the same. Every time that you went to the store, it was something different. We were being, it was shortage. You couldn't find the things that you really needed to live, and then the income wasn't enough. Then the things, the protests on the street, they were really big and really bad and really sad. People were dying on the streets. Every time we went to protest, which I was a part of it as well, because by the same year, 2010, I became member of a political party. because I thought, I have to do something. I have to be a part of it to find a solution of this crisis, which, again, they have the power, they have the money, and it's really hard to fight again that really big monster that have the power, that have the arms, they have everything.
Yeah.
So that was 2011. I had the chance to come here on vacation with my family. We stayed for like a month, I want to say. Then we went to Aruba. It was all pleasure. We were kind of getting away from all that mess that we had in Venezuela. 2012, I started really thinking about it, and I had family here in the States, in Byron, and he told me, "Hey, why don't you move here with your family? You don't have to pay any rent or anything." He was established by then, so why don't you move? So in the same time, between 2010, 2012, beginning of 2013, I got threat. They were actually people broke into my house.
Because you were part of the political party?
Yeah.
They targeted them?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was getting bad and bad.
And I actually wrote down the numbers just to give some context to the listeners. Up to date, there's over 200 people that were killed in protests, and over 18.4 thousand that are injured in these protests. So these are very scary.
Yeah, and there is another good amount of people that is in jail just because they think different than the way they think.
Right.
And so he told me that. I was thinking. It wasn't easy to decide to move here because all my family is down there. Well, we decided. We moved and we stayed here. I applied for political asylum, and then I went to this institute here. It is what is it called? Georgia.
Middle Georgia.
Middle Georgia Technical College.
Okay, yeah.
I went there to study English because I didn't know any English. It was already hard by moving to another country where you don't know anybody. But by not knowing anything about that language, that was really hard. That was really tough. And so
I really respect that, because English, I know, is a tough language, and I've taken Spanish classes and I haven't done so well, and so I really respect that you come here and you've learned English so well, and you just anyway.
So it was that I was just wanted something better for my family, and I knew that the basic thing to do that in this country was by learning the language.
Right.
So I went there. I learned what I have now. It's not that much, but it is what it is. I think it's just about attitude, and if you are confident that you know what you're doing, no matter what, you can speak. I don't know, German, Chinese, it don't matter. Yeah. You will do it. So I did that, and my asylum, thanks God and thanks the United States, it got approved. It got granted, and then I became permanent resident, and that's my status right now.
And you had children? When you
I have two children. They are 8 and 16. They are Camila and Andres. Now I have another one with my new wife. It's hers, which is Sam. He's 6. Yeah. Yep.
So I bet that's really scary. Living in Venezuela with children like that, and currently I think Venezuela has the highest homicide rate, or one of the highest homicide rates in the world, and so that's really tough.
Yeah, I think there are not many countries on top of Venezuela. I think like Mexico is like in, you know, like the DF. Mexico is one of the dangerous cities in the world. So Maracaibo, Venezuela is, you know, is kind of compared to that,
Right.
which is really bad. It's not something that you want your children to grow up in.
How hard was it to receive political asylum when you went and applied for it?
It wasn't hard. It was complicated. It was a process, things that you have to do, rules that you have to follow, and paperwork, a lot of, you know, documents that I needed to bring, that I needed to show, proof that I needed to show to them. But if you ask me, to me, it wasn't that hard. I mean, if you compare the benefits or the life that I'm having right now compared to what I had to do, it was nothing. It was nothing, because the only thing that I can regret now is that I don't have my family with me, like my parents, my brothers and sisters, and I don't have them with me. But other than that, I have my kids that they are going to school. They are going, you know, I know that they are safe. They can go, you know, anywhere they want, and they're gonna have a good life. Yeah.
So what was it like when you got the notification or the notice that your asylum was accepted?
It was really exciting. I mean, it was, you know, I've always you know, challenged myself that I have to do better, and I was kind of hold back because I couldn't work the way I wanted, because I didn't have the actual documentation.
Right. And
And after that, when everything changed, it was, you know, now I can apply for a better job. Now I can do this. Now I can do that. It was, you know, and again, everything comes back to my children, because, you know, when you look at them, all the sacrifice that you've done, it makes sense. You know, you realize that it's worth it, what you're doing. So it's really satisfactory that, you know, looking back and say, oh, I came through all that.
Yeah. When did you meet Julie down here?
I met Julie, it's going to be about 2 years ago.
2 years ago. And you guys have been married for about a year or so?
Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, a year and 5 days.
Yeah. And Julie's a teacher here in Warner Robins. Or in Perry, I guess.
Yeah, no, Warner Robins, here in Centerville.
Okay.
Yeah, she teaches 4th grade.
Yeah. You guys are a really sweet couple, both of you.
That's an angel that God crossed my way.
Yeah.
She's just awesome. I mean, anything I can tell you about Julie is nothing compared with what she really is. She's just awesome. Yeah. She loved me. She loved my kids. She loved, you know, she's an angel. She's awesome.
So what is your current immigration status or citizenship status?
I became a permanent resident. I think it was March or February 2015. So after that, now I need to wait for 5 years in order to become to be able to apply for the U.S. citizenship, which could be November next year, because you can apply like 3 months prior you became a permanent resident. And I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. It's. I never realized how long it actually took. Because I mean, so you came here and you got accepted for asylum in 2013, I guess, and then you were granted a permanent resident, and then you're also married to an American citizen, but it's still going to take so many years for you to actually get the full citizenship.
It's a process. That is why but it is what it is, and that is something that you gotta respect.
Yeah.
That is why, and this is not like our main conversation here, but sometimes people talk about because how hard it is to become a resident or a legal resident here in the state. And I would say, I mean, it's just a country trying to protect themselves. It's it's I don't see that like unrespectful, or there is people that they refer to the immigrants in a bad way, because just like there could be bad immigrants, or bad immigrants, it could be like bad USA citizens. It doesn't have to be an immigrant to be a bad person.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What role do you think a country has in accepting immigrants and accepting people for asylum? Do you think that you said that people talk about how tough it is to be granted the status, but do you think it should be easier, or do you think countries, or do you think the United States should make it easier for people to seek asylum here?
I wouldn't say easier, or the way the United States could make it easier is by making it faster. Like, let's say that I came here in 2013. Actually, mine was really fast. I cannot complain about it. But today's day is being delayed. Like, I know friends that, depending the state where they got in, they've been in the process not for a year as I did, but for 4-5 years, and it could be even longer. So I'm not saying that the United States has to approve the political asylum, but if it's going to be denied, I mean, why don't make it faster? That way that person can have like I don't want to say a decent life, because it's going to be a decent life anyway, because if you came here to do the right thing, nobody's gonna point you out. Nobody's gonna tell you gotta leave because you are doing anything wrong, because you are not. So I would say by making it faster and I mean, asking for the documents or for the steps that you need to do no matter what, because those are the United States rules, and it is what it is. Like a Venezuelan citizen, I wouldn't like nobody to go there and do the wrong thing, or trying to to cheat the system. You gotta do it the way it's supposed to, no matter what. No matter if you came from a big or a small country.
Yeah. Have you faced any struggles? Being an immigrant coming into the country, do you feel overall accepted by other people, or do you feel like you might be shunned a little being a citizen, or having a weird accent or something like that?
No, I mean, like, again, you're gonna find that even in Venezuela. Like, to me, being a Spanish speaking, if I was in Venezuela, people could be rude to me, being Venezuelan, both of us. So it's gonna be the same thing. I don't feel like by being an immigrant, or being Venezuelan, or being a weird English speaking person, that's been like the reason why people is being rude to me. It's being, there are angry people out there that no matter what, they are gonna be angry, and they are gonna be mad, and they are gonna be, treating people like if they were the owner of the world. So I don't think that by being an immigrant, actually, I would say the other way around. I feel really blessed for all the people that I've been around with, that has helped me a lot. I mean, I've been helped a lot. I mean, I don't have that many fingers on my hands to count all the person that I'm grateful for, and it's just awesome. I mean, and I don't know if you were asking me that because of, sometimes you see the news and you say, oh, because this person is being racist, or this person is being, rude to an immigrant because they didn't speak Spanish. Because they didn't speak English the way they were supposed to. But again, and I tried that with my kids. They both speak English really well, but if it's just about being polite.
Right.
If you are in a meeting with 10, 20 people that they only speak English, it's just being conscious. You don't want to speak Spanish. You don't want to speak another language with this other person, because that's kind of rude, because you wouldn't like if that was you. If back in time when I didn't know any English, if it was to me, I wouldn't like it. So, you got to think about the other side too.
Right.
So you don't want to go to the store and be doing stuff that you're not supposed to, because then is when people is gonna be pointing to the immigrant, like if all of us were the same,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really interested because there's a lot of it seems like there's a lot of division now with President Trump is very closed borders, and he's very strict on immigration, at least, and so I was wondering if you were facing any if you ever see any of the effects of that, or if that's just maybe the news blowing it up and making it seem worse than it really is.
Well, there is a fact that he could be right in everything he says,
Mm-hmm.
but the way he says it is when he's wrong. Because if you say that you're gonna build a wall, that's fine, just build it, but you don't have to make other people, because you are a leader, you're the president
Mm-hmm.
of the most powerful country in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want people to be following you the wrong way. If you want to think that Venezuelans or Mexicans or you name it are not allowed in this country, you just make a law or just do it the right way. I want to say it's not just because I said so. All these people, all of them are raptists, or all of them. You gotta understand that when you make a statement like that, you are not only affecting the illegal immigrant that is doing the wrong thing, you also affect the legal immigrant with family that is doing the right thing here.
Mm-hmm.
So why do you want to make complicated? Why do you want to make this that complicated? Because that's another thing that people that follow him don't see, is that the immigrant, just like at some point Venezuela needed United States immigrants to take advantage of the oil resources that we had. The United States of America also needs immigrants to live where they live, to produce the things that they produce. And you can go on and on with different countries, and it's the same thing. Every single country will need immigrants to produce, to grow the way they do.
Yeah. So you said one of the only regret you have is leaving your family, some of your family members behind. What is it like to have family over there still?
It's tough. My mom is still there, and the toughest part is that I wasn't the only one moving out. I have cousins all over the world, like Italy, Colombia. My brother just moved to Panama, to Colombia for the same reason. There is no way to live in Venezuela. So if it was my mom and I still had my cousins and my family there, it wasn't that hard. It was tough, but it wasn't that bad. And but now just thinking that she's gonna be there by herself with my sister is really hard. And there is where we could maybe link what you just asked me about how the United States could make it easier. I would say, like my mom. I wish I could bring my mom to live here with me, but I can't. And I understand that there is a reason behind it. There are laws that need to be respected, and she can just come here to visit me. She came last year. She came for like 3 months. Then she had to leave because she had my sister there, and there it was, everything turns complicated because then my sister doesn't have a visa to come. My mom does, but my sister doesn't. So it's gonna be. I lost my dad by in all this process. I lost my dad 2 years ago, and I couldn't come there to visit him on his last days, and it's just something that you wish you could by snapping you get fixed, but it's not. And there are many thoughts that you have, but at the same time, I mean, we come back to what we were talking about the kids, about my children. I mean, I just look at them and I say, okay, they are safe, they are good here, they have a future here, and that's a sacrifice that I'm paying, by being away from my family.
Yeah. And you're still able to, speak with your mom pretty easy. Like, she has cell phone access? Or?
Yes and no, because now happened that in Venezuela, there's been power outage, like every day for 5-6 hours, and you don't know when it's gonna be. It could be during the day, it could be at night, and if they don't have power, they don't have internet, and if they don't have power and internet, they don't have cell phone.
Right.
So it's a chain, and sometimes it could be days without me talking to her, but I do talk to her like at least 3 out of 5, 3 out of 7 in a week. Yeah.
What do you think needs to be done there in order for things to, become more stable? And
oh my God, that's a tough question. That's really hard.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to wish what you don't have to wish. God help me. But these people it's gonna be a never endless story because they have the power. They just had elections like 3 months ago. Nothing happened. The only candidates that were to the election were their own candidates. And Maduro won again.
Okay.
It's
Maduro even created his another legislative branch of government that's completely supported his candidates, right?
Yeah. It's like you went to an election today to elect the congressman, okay? You got this many from one party, you got this many from one party. They lost. So supposedly what they call the opposition in Venezuela, they won. They had all the seats in the Congress. But then, since they noticed that, they saw that they were not going to be able to change laws and change things that they wanted to. They just created a new Congress, and nobody did anything. I mean, I'm not really sure about it. I don't know that much about international agreements and things like that. But at some point, there has to be an international intervention in Venezuela. I don't know, you name it, United States of America, I don't know. But another country will have to come in and do something. Because you see, like the OEA, they were all against Venezuela. But nobody did anything because then they came back saying, we don't have to do what they say. We do what we do here because we are sovereigns, because we can, we have our own laws, we have our constitution. So it's not going to change. It's not going to change that easy. And unfortunately, things are getting worse in the meantime.
And you don't think there's any chance for the people to take back control without foreign intervention? I mean, I guess that would lead to like a civil war, and that's just a horrible concept.
I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't see in the future that happening. I mean, it has to be. I don't know. I don't really know. I mean, I got speechless when it comes to seeing a future in Venezuela because unfortunately, I have family down there,
right.
But I don't think things are gonna change over there.
Yeah. Well, so where are you today? Where you're back in the U.S. You're married. You're waiting on your citizenship, and you've done well for yourself.
Pretty much, yeah. Like I said, I've been helped. There are many people out there that I need to be thankful with, but so like you said, I'm married. I have a good job. I really like it here, what I do. And also I have my business on the side, and which is kind of related what I went to college for. I do videography, so
that's actually how I know you. I've worked with you on a project before.
Yeah, I do that, and that's my passion. I wish at some point I can do that as a full-time job because I really enjoy doing that. So we've been doing, because Julie, she also likes photography, and now she's getting involved in all this. She's liking it as well, and we both been doing weddings and real estate videos, and kind of 1 or 2 events for business. And so that's what we do on the side. That's what will keep us busy in those moments where we don't have anything to do. We're always trying to do something. Yeah.
And you're also working with an attorney's office,
right,
here as well. That's really awesome. Well, how did this whole situation, the immigration, all of it, how did it affect your worldview? Did it make you more cynical? Did it make you more or less religious? How did that?
Well, actually, I'm not the most religious person, but I think I became more religious after all these things because I think, I do believe in God, and I think that, by His word, if more people will follow Him, the world will be way much better. Like, the way I see things, I'm not who to judge you because the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you live, the things you do. So it's your word, it's your own thing. You just gotta be respectful to me in order for me to be respectful to you. So, that's like a basic point to me. And, trying to love each other, no matter what, no matter where you came from, no matter what you do, no matter the way you wear, the things you do, the things you like, just trying to love each other. I think it's, and that will make the world even better. And
that's really awesome that you feel that way. I feel like a lot of people that go through what you've been through, they kind of lose hope, and they might even be full of hatred. And so that's really nice to see that you still have this optimism about you. And
everything happened for a reason. We didn't talk about it. I came married here to the States. I had a 14 years marriage. So when we got here, we got divorced a year after, right? When we got the asylum granted. And again, the divorce happened, and it was tough, just the divorce. But then you would think, I was by myself. When I didn't have my kids, I was by myself. I didn't have no family here to share with. I was just going to work, go into that apartment that I was renting, and that's it. And when you got all this time to think, yeah, it could be really bad. But if you use it the ways God will supply you with the things that God will supply you, it's gonna be really useful. You're gonna take advantage of it. You're gonna think, you're gonna deep think about things that you've done, things that you can do to help others, and things like that. And I think that's what I've done. Trying to be positive every single day in my life. Sometimes it's not gonna be like that, and I know that, but just trying to be positive, just trying to be positive. Everything happened for a reason, and everything is gonna get better. And it's not like I'm the best example, but I came here without a job, without knowing the language, and I'm not millionaire, but I'm happy with what I have right now. I have my wife, I have my kids, I have a job, I do what I like to do. It's just a matter of enjoying it, enjoying what you have right now, no matter what.
So what would you say, what matters most? What conversation should we be having? What message would you want to communicate people?
Smile, positive attitude, and love each other, no matter what. Just love each other. Don't overthink, because I think that's the problem with the human being, is overthinking about everything. Because you told me, oh, why did you tell me that? Oh, did you mean this? No, just take it. Just take it. Don't take it, but don't take it personal. Just live your life. Just respect each other. Just do the right thing, and that would make me think about immigrants. If you're an immigrant and you don't want people talking about immigrants, just do the right thing. It's not like I don't care when people talk bad about immigrants, because I do care about immigrants. But if you're a racist, like Trump says, you're a racist. What do you want me to say? If you did something wrong, you gotta be you're gonna be in the loop for people talking bad about you. If you're a good person, if you're a good citizen, if you're a good immigrant, just forget about it. That's not to you. That's for the bad immigrants. That's not for the good immigrants. Like in my case, I consider myself like a good immigrant, because I pay my taxes, I pay my bills, I don't have any tickets, or it's not like it's a bad thing having a ticket, but if I got a ticket, I pay for it. It's not like, I'm driving without a driver license. I think that's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
And things like that. It's just the matter of doing what you have to do, because as an immigrant, we know what we have to do. As a U.S. citizen, I'm pretty sure that you know what you have to do, that your rights, and but then also what you have to do in order to follow the law.
Yeah. Well, Adolfo, thank you so much for being here today. I think that was an excellent conversation. I hope it really humanizes what it's like to be an immigrant, and lets people see kind of a window into the world of the struggles and all. Let's tell the listeners about your videography business.
Okay.
So this is Images for Memories.
That is correct.
All right. Where can we find more about you?
Well, you can find us on Facebook. It is at Images for Memories. We also have a website. We've been working on it. It's imagesformemories.com.
And that's the number 4.
Right. Yeah. That's the number 4. And we've been working on the website. The Facebook page is a little bit more updated, but you will find there some samples of what we've done, some real estate videos, and also weddings that we've done. Yeah. And
you work all around Middle Georgia area. Yeah. So Macon, Warner Robins, all of that.
Yeah.
Surrounding area. All right. Well, definitely check that out. Well, Adolfo, thank you so much.
Thank you.